UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from Broadcast House, UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Brian Tumwine Biaruhanga. The International Conference on the Great Lakes region, working under the African Union framework, has insisted that implementing peace must define the next phase. The ICGLR Executive Secretary, Dr. Mobita Lualwebwa, says peace efforts have been completed by the high-level meetings across the world, including a recent one in Entebbe where Uganda reinforced that commitment. For the people of Eastern DRC Congo, peace has been promised many times, yet suffering continues. Henry Okrot brings us to speed.
Families have been forced from their homes. Communities continue living in fear, with children growing up in unstable situations. At the heart of Africa's coordinated response is the International Conference on the Great Lakes region, ICGLR, a regional body operating within the confines of Africa, is not working in isolation.
We intend to, and we continue to collaborate, because as you may be aware, the ESC process and the SADC process have been consolidated into the AU process, which is continental. So the ICGR is working at a continental level, and through the mediator, His Excellency the President of Togo, and we are collaborating with ESC, SADC and other regional bodies.
The East African Community and SADC peace tracks are now consolidated under the African Union framework. ICGLR says the coordination has entered a new stage. One process, one direction.
Our expectations are high-level decisions by summits on Eastern DRC, and we stand ready as ICGR to be on the ground and implement what our leadership, our political leadership at continental level. So we look forward to the resolutions, the decisions of summits, and as ICGR are composed of our 12 member states and other co-opted member states to implement the decisions of summit. And we look forward to those decisions.
Beyond policy meetings, ICGLR maintains structures on the ground in Goma, positioning itself to monitor ceasefires and verify compliance. Through the expanded joint verification mechanism, the body is expected to oversee ceasefire monitoring and accountability.
ICGR is fully engaged in the Washington process. ICGR is fully engaged in the Doha process. ICGR is fully engaged in the continental level. The next steps is to implement the oversight ceasefire monitoring mechanism through our body, the EGVM+, and we look forward to those next steps.
Recent diplomatic engagements have reinforced this continental alignment. At Entebbe, Uganda, former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo and President Yoweri Museveni met to push for peace in Eastern DRC.
We know the problem so well. It's really a shame that it should take so long because it is easy to solve.
I'm still around. I hope before I die, this problem will be solved. Thank you very much.
What is important is to address the root cause of instability.
We are working with other partners and collaborators. We are working with MONUSCO. We are working with the US. We are working with Qatar. We are working under the African Union, of course. We are working also with the AU on the ground. We are working with other bodies on the ground, and we hope to implement this very, very effectively.
The ceasefire must hold for the suffering to end. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you, Henry, for that. Now, the Equinox and the Teledentist Global Initiative, delivered through the Bridge to Health program, has successfully supported over 600 residents on Kalangal Island through a comprehensive oral health outreach. Wadilo Mark has the rest of the story.
More than 20 international dental professionals traveled to the island to provide emergency extractions, professional cleaning, oral screenings, gum disease management, and structured hygiene education. During the mission, over 600 units of Cavigard were administered as a preventive oral health treatment, strengthening enamel protection and helping reduce cavity progression.
So our opportunity to come to Uganda was with Bridge to Health, this wonderful organization we're working with, and we brought Cavigard with us, and our favorite experience of the other dentists that came with me, and I say, is the Ugandan dentists. They have been so embracing what this offers and offering the technology so that they could reach out to islands sitting from home and training. Our goal is to train local community health workers to be able to apply the product when a teledentist tells them where to apply.
In remote communities, limited access to routine dental care often means minor issues develop into severe infections. This initiative addressed both urgent clinical needs and long-term prevention.
Oral disease is the most prevalent disease in the world, and it's almost 100% preventable because it's a bacterial disease. And we now have technology that we can do virtual consultations almost anywhere there's internet connection, and we have products like Cavigard that prevent a tooth from cavities from getting worse, actually stops the decay rate, and then fluoride varnish over it prevents further cavities.
The program aligns with the goals of the World Health Organization to integrate oral health into universal health coverage by 2030. With global dental workforce shortages, the teledentist model extends specialist expertise virtually, enabling remote consultations and continued care beyond physical outreach missions.
This is just an opportunity to consult with a dentist. This is killing me. This really hurts. What can I do? Yeah. And the dentist will be able to recommend antibiotics and intermediary treatment of what they can do while they're waiting to be able to get in. We can decrease pain getting worse, and give them options.
According to research, oral diseases rank amongst the most prevalent in the world. This initiative represents a step forward in combining international collaboration, preventive innovation, and digital health solutions to strengthen Uganda's oral health care access. Wadulo Arnold Mark for UBC News.
Thank you, Mark, for that. Members of the National Strategic Communications Committee, we met with the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, in a high-level session to strengthen coordination across government communication systems. Now the meeting focused on aligning messaging, streamlining information across ministries, and building a unified narrative with the media. The goal is to protect Uganda's image, counter misinformation, and promote key development programs. Let's take a look.
We, some few years back, put in place a committee that works with us as the Ministry of Information to augment and supplement the work that we do, especially on strategic communication, with a focus on ensuring that we communicate effectively both locally, but also portray a positive image internationally. Because as we build our economy, We are attracting investors to come into this country. We are attracting tourists to come into this country, and also working hard to ensure that the international community knows Uganda has recovered and it's on the positive trajectory as we move ahead. There is a lot of excitement with social media in Uganda. And social media has created what we call citizen journalism. Now everybody is a journalist. With a phone and a computer, you can publish anything, anytime. And there are sections of Ugandans who abuse social media, and we have severally said Ugandans, especially young people, should use social media for positive communication, for development, not just to spew hatred and put all sorts of communication which is very offensive.
It is utter lack of knowledge to spew bad things about the very community that gives you the income. Now, you can educate, but where education stops, you apply regulations. Because the media, I started this conference by saying social media is highly individualized and it's not going to get any better. Everybody has a voice. It's like a cacophony, it's like a forest. Now, sometimes you want to understand what are they saying. And some of us switch off and want to go above them by going the traditional way to convince people so that when they go on social media, they don't trust what they see. Social media will say what they want, but we ask you to stay with the narrative. We can have a principle, but if you mess it up, we should go back to the principle and deal with you if we have finished education. We understand practice and principle but we ask you to stay with the principle. Stay close to the principle where social media has gone off the hinge.
Government spokesperson, that is Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, the Minister for National Guidance and ICT there. Now let's talk live on Uganda's lakes. Nearly 1/5 of Uganda's surface area is covered by water, with major lakes playing a vital role in the country's economy, culture and environment. However, poor adherence to safety standards, unregulated and aging boats, and passengers traveling without life jackets continue to pose serious risks on the waters. Crispus Arinitwe reports.
At the heart of Uganda's water system is Lake Victoria, Africa's largest lake and the second largest freshwater lake in the world. The lake supports millions of people through fishing, transport, trade and tourism. For communities living along the shores, these lakes are more than just water bodies, they are a way of life. In island districts, boats remain the main mode of transport, but questions persist about their safety. Interviews with tour operators reveal that some boats can take up to 5 months before undergoing servicing.
Litwala emyezi ng'etaano kulikola service. Tuba tukebera ekigenda mu maaso ku lyato, tulaba oba alina damage yonna ne tulitereeza. Oba yingine efudde. Tulina aba rescuers abasobola okujja mu mangu singa tuba tubakubidde. Naye lwakuba nti batono awo tubakola nga ffe nga like bawakementi baffe be batuyamba naye ng'ate gavumenti efuddeyo nnyo okubatuwaako ku mazzi.
Operators admit that overloading of canoes remains common. Strong winds generate heavy waves, and when small boats carry excessive weight, their rear sections often sit dangerously close to the water level.
Ekireetera amaato ago okubeera nti gakyasinze okukola accident. Agakagooza amanene babiyita mu lulimi Oluganda bakiyita ekinaala. Lwansonga nti gava wala ate wala gye gava waliyo empewo nnyingi ate obuzibu bano abanga batika ebintu bingi.
Tambulira mu lyato eryetuufu kubanga tutambulira mu maato na gano agawuka. Osanga eryato eriwekuka embuyaga yonna iwejjidde ng'ekukwanga okola ki ng'ekutwala.
Maybe the problem may be on these boats that they use. Some of them have some problems and some they can go there without first like is it okay or it's not?
Area leaders say, despite regular sensitization drives and community outreach programs on safe living along lake shores, many residents remain reluctant to attend meetings or participate in discussions on environmental protection. They warn that this low level of engagement is slowing efforts to promote sustainable fishing and sailing practices.
Nti tetufaayo okugoberera obulamu bwaffe nga bwe tugoberera politics. Naye for the case nti bajje batusomese kino mukuŋŋaane si kyekyangu abantu besigala ku mirimu gyabwe naye nga kyebagenda kumusomesa kiri ku bulamu bwe. Kuba kati bwe nkugamba nga nkusomeseza nti life jacket yegenda okuyamba mu nnyanja waakiri n'oba nga oguddemu naye waakiri ojja kumala eddakiika 20 ofune rescue akugjemu owone okufa.
Uganda's lakes remain one of the country's greatest natural blessings, feeding millions, powering industries, connecting communities and shaping cultural identity. But without responsible stewardship and stricter safety enforcement, that blessing could quickly turn into a disaster in waiting. Crispus Arinitwe reporting for UBC.
Thank you, Crispus, for that. Now let's look at the latest defections. The vice chairperson for Uganda of the Forum for Democratic Change, that is Yusuf Nsibambi, has officially joined the National Resistance Movement. During a meeting with NRM officials at the party headquarters in Kampala, Nsibambi criticized opposition parties, accusing them of misleading the youth and lacking clear ideological direction. He was received by the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, and the NRM Secretary General, that is Richard Trodong. Let's take a look.
Yes. You take a decision that we storm out of Parliament without harmonizing these positions. No party was invited at all to discuss this position. Then we sit at the staircase. Then you sit at. Then Tuli and Barengure. Then you put on black. But then you see the kind of politics, not just defiance, which we are used to then, but it is confused and positions. There is no proper direction. So incidentally now we go to campaigns and you find each and every candidate has to have a gari. A gari is a group of young men misdirected to believe that you are going to change through violence. So we say, no, this is not a harmonized position. But without a gari, you will not address the electorate. So I started watching and saying, what is going on? Can we have a conversation with the government? Most of the youth are incarcerated in these parties. Our children are not. Their families actually suffering. I have a neighbor called Yasin Kauma who died, I think, in West Nile, a neighbor in Mawakota. His children are not going to school. And no one has ever stepped there. But we keep continuing inciting people. You demand this, demand the other. The person in charge of demanding is nowhere to be seen. And you know, there's that kind of confusion. So I started interacting with the executive and the party in NRM. I would like to thank the Right Honourable Speaker. Talked to me and said, Yusuf, you are now 61 years. What have you achieved? I got to know when the electorate said, no, we are tired of this kind of politics. They like you as their son, but the direction is not proper. Now I'm here to tell the entire public that we have a duty and a responsibility to work harmoniously in a manner which is peaceful. We need tranquility for development. Chaos will not help in the situation. And I'm ready, Right Honourable Speaker, and the SG to be given any task to serve our people.
Our home is so big, it can accommodate everybody. And as Secretary General said, all the people who want to join NRM, NRM is open. Open. I also came, I am here, I was given space, I am happy, very happy. And I want to thank the person who identified me, and that's President Museveni. I want to thank him so much. He has made me what I am, and I'm proud of him as my president, as my mentor, as the person who brought me to NRM. And once more, may the good Lord bless all of you. And Honorable Vambi, we are available 24/7. For us, we're a family.
To me, I keep thanking you and congratulating you. Because comrades like Sibambi and others would go through an inlet they feel comfortable with. And I'm sure for the many years you've been in FDC, you are looking for how do I join NRM until the Right Honorable Speaker came. And so I need to congratulate you for always bringing forces to join hands with the NRM. This speaks to the historical mission of the party.
This one, he wants an interview.
Yes, I want first of all, just
and he's the best link, by the way. He's the
There for you, Yusufu Nsibambe. Now let's talk post-election saga heading to Oyam. A section of the NRM members in Oyam district have accused the party leadership of mismanaging funds meant to support flag bearers. They claim over 352 million shillings never reached the intended beneficiaries, allegedly affecting the party's performance in the recently concluded elections. Let's take a watch.
A sharp rift has emerged within the NRM party in Oyam district over alleged mismanagement of funds, with a section of members threatening to stage a demonstration if action is not taken.
We are unhappy as NRM of Oyam. We are advocating, we are saying we need completely or totally a different chairperson altogether with his team, including even administrative officer.
The party suffered major losses in the recently concluded elections, including 2 parliamentary seats, the LC5 chairperson, 10 LC3 chairpersons, and the Oyam Town Council mayoral seat. Party loyalists attribute the poor performance to what they describe as leadership gaps and alleged corruption within the district party leadership.
And these members, to be sincere, none of them is a resident of Oyam district.
Kuira me president numere nungu yam no bir pasen mieshiel. Ento pikuo ke de tima ranya meti joti mi como o mema me pata mono ti yo yam. Temi yo pas mu 7 kuira atiti de twal. Eka jo adon ti tere do job no losing do.
The coordinator of the NRM chairpersons in Oyam says funds meant for electoral activities, including village meetings, transport and support for special interest groups, were not released. The move, he says, demoralized grassroots leaders and supporters.
We try to total all this, it brings up to a total of 352,660,000, which was consumed completely, and this did not reach the rightful beneficiaries.
The leaders are now calling on the party secretariat to investigate the allegations and restructure the district leadership to restore trust and unity within the party.
So I'm urging the party officials, right from the secretariat, to lower down to Oyam district and make sure that these problems are handled amicably. If not, I am ready again to mobilize all those who lost in my level of LC3, and we want to meet the president.
However, the NRM Administrative Secretary for Oyam District, Bismarck Olang, has dismissed the claims as baseless and politically motivated, describing them as attempts to blackmail the party leadership.
We have a section of our members who are being funded
by the opposition to start diminishing the contribution by the member of the NRM.
As internal divisions continue to surface, members warn that failure to address the concerns could further weaken the NRM support in Oyam district. ICGLR, UBC News.
Thank you so much there, Eddie, for us. Now at exactly 28 minutes, UBC Lunchtime News takes a break, but we shall do return with more news.
So, Mchala.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they are supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza, Commissioner.
So, Mchala.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. UBC Lunchtime News continues. The Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, that is Judith Nabakova, has issued a strict one-week ultimatum to the National Forestry Authority to install boundary pillars at Bugoma Central Forest Reserve in Chikube district. Now, she says failure to act as allowed encroachers to advance into the forest, threatening this vital natural resource. Let's take a look.
It is about restoring order and being clear when it comes to the boundaries of a certain plot or boundaries of Bugoma Central Forest Reserve. It's about reaffirming the authority of the law over speculation and optimism. It's about protecting citizens from being misled to settling on contested land for political communities. I want to call upon all local leaders to resist from temptation of politicizing this exercise. Short-term political popularity must not override the long-term environmental security. Security agencies, we must ensure that the exercise proceeds peacefully and we are not going to go into negotiations. We have told you the boundary opening was done and what we need is placement of pillars.
First, they say we have finished in Goma, and I want to declare my interest as a minister that myself, I have no personal interest in Goma, and the interest of the institution that I'm transitioning into the ministry is to ensure that that forest is very well protected and conserved. And that's the reason why we actually, last year around August, we opened up ecotourism activities in Oyam after defeating chimpanzees for purposes of bringing in non-conservative money that will conserve this forest. So we remain committed, Honorable Minister, as the Minister said, to facilitate and participate in the project of opening the boundary, and I will deliver the pillars from behalf of government to ensure that the area that is to be demarcated is completely demarcated, and then we have.
Thank you very much for watching UBC Lunchtime News. That story marks and brings us to the very end of UBC Lunchtime News. I am Brian Tumwine Biaruhanga. Goodbye. God bless Uganda.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hi, and welcome to Kiswahili Kimoja.